Hey everyone, what if one of the biggest secrets for you to be more confident and charismatic when pitching, selling, persuading, and so on was actually already within you and you just have to awaken it? Let's talk about this. Before continuing, just a quick mention: if you subscribe and you activate notifications, you get more persuasion materials by me. So sales techniques, persuasion tips, how to speak, how to be more confident, more charismatic, negotiate, anything related to persuasion, and more. So subscribe. So let's talk about what's missing in terms of charisma for a lot of people. And that is simply that they don't realize their value. You have a lot of people, probably yourself, that have already achieved great things in life, but you don't allow yourself to recognize that value. So you walk into a room or a meeting and you're not confident at all, thinking, oh, I'm not sure that this is going to go well, when in reality, you already have a lot of confidence from other areas of life. You just don't allow yourself to translate that confidence or to transfer it into this area. So what we want to do is we want to make you more aware of the value that you already have in your achievements so that it's easier for you to just recognize that you're charismatic. Not become charismatic, recognize that you already are. So we have a couple of techniques for this, right? So the first technique is remembering when you had to rely on just yourself. We all have situations where we have to do a whole project by ourselves, or where we travel alone, or maybe we have plans with friends, but all of them abandon that plan and we have to do something on our own. It could be a trip, it could be some sort of activity, and so on. But we all have situations in life where we did not have to rely on others, we had to rely on ourselves. And that is a big source of confidence. Of course, that in everyday life, we don't give ourselves that permission to recognize that value. But if you've done a lot of things where you just relied on yourself, those are big things and big achievements. And you can leverage those to be aware of the charisma and confidence that you already have. The second method is to remember the sacrifices that you have already made. Either you or somebody else, such as a family member or a loved one or whoever it is, probably made sacrifices for you to get where you are right now. Maybe it's in terms of your education, or maybe in terms of not following a hobby or a career to follow another one. But at the end of the day, if you think about the sacrifices that you've made, it's stupid to not be confident and charismatic, because that sacrifice has to be worth something, right? So another way for you to realize the value that you already have is to realize the sacrifices that you have made along the way. Another method is very simple. It consists of cataloging the moments of power in your life. That is, the moments where you have felt the most confident, the most powerful, the best in life at the end of the day. It may be, for example, a year in your career where every single project that you touched was just gold and you just had success after success after success. It could be an actual presentation. Maybe you were very nervous and you had to give a presentation, and at the end you got a standing ovation. Maybe it was when you met your loved one, right? You didn't have the courage to go speak to them, but you went and speak to them, and now you are where you are, right? So it can be any type of moment in life. But if you just think about the highlight reel, right? If you were dying today and you thought, what would be the highlights of my life? There are going to be moments of power where you felt infinite confidence or infinite power in some way. And what you want to do is you want to be aware of those. And then the fourth method is to remember the compliments that people have made that you consider normal. What I mean by this is there is a motto or a principle that states that you don't realize how good you are at certain things, but other people are going to compliment you on those things. So if, for example, people tell you, hey, you're very good at breaking down complex topics into simple things, you're a great communicator, and you think, well, it's nothing normal, I've done it my whole life, then that means that it's special. Because we have a tendency to not realize that we are special at certain things, but people that see it from the outside are going to be able to notice those. So when people compliment you on something that you think is normal, but they don't think it's normal, they think that it's worth complimenting, then those are the things that you should be confident about and that give you reasons to be charismatic when presenting, selling, or in any other type of persuasion situation. Another method is just to have the courage. What I mean by this is to have the courage to realize that you already have that confidence and that charisma. At the end of the day, in a lot of cases, we have too much confidence, right? So sometimes we need the courage to realize that we may not be as good as we think we are. But in certain cases, you may be too shy, or you just may not realize your value. So you need to do the opposite. You need to have the courage to realize that you are better than you think. And this is really courage, because when you are in your comfort zone, if you feel like you're small, but you feel comfortable there, realizing that you are actually big, it takes you out of your comfort zone. Because you think, well, I've been telling myself this narrative that I'm not good, but what if I am good, right? What does that mean? Where am I in society or in terms of my own identity? It creates this type of tension and instability. But either way, that's another method. It's to have the courage to realize that you already have the confidence and the charisma. You just don't give yourself that credit. So what you want to do is note these down in a piece of paper or note these down in a quick sheet that you can take a look at, because you want to remind yourself regularly of the reasons why you already are confident and charismatic. even if you have the tendency to not give yourself credit or forget them, you want to force your emotions to actually actively remember them, right? So when your whole emotions are telling you, hey, I'm not this, you have to logically override them and think, no, I am this, whether you want to recognize it or not. It's kind of an internal battle, but you kind of have to force yourself to realize that. So that's one way to do it. If you like these techniques, take a look at the Improving Communication Skills playlist, which has a lot of different techniques on how to pitch, how to sell, how to present, how to be more charismatic, how to improve your body language, and a lot more.